She smirked. Why would I stop texting other guys? We're not married. After a year together, I said, fair enough. Then I started talking to her cousin. When we all showed up at the same family dinner, she finally realized what not married really meant. I'm not dramatic. I'm 29. I work in logistics. I keep my life simple. What happened wasn't some plan. It was a door she opened herself, and I eventually walked through it. We met at a mutual friend's birthday in the spring. She was warm, easy to talk to, and by month 2, we were official. The first several months were good enough that I wasn't looking for problems. The cracks started around month 8. She was constantly on her phone. Not the casual kind, but the kind where you're sitting across from her at dinner and her thumbs are moving and she's smiling at the screen the way she stopped smiling at you. I let it go longer than I should have, but it never stopped. Every time we were together, she was on that phone, laughing at things she wouldn't show me, typing with one hand while pushing food around her plate. I finally said something in early March. I'd made dinner, poured wine. She'd been texting for 20 minutes while I sat there watching the food go cold. I asked who she was talking to. Just guy friends, she said. Not a big deal. I needed to relax. I told her it felt like whoever was on that phone was getting more of her than I was. She put it down long enough to roll her eyes. We're not married, she said. Why would I stop texting other guys? I had a life before you. Something in me went quiet. Not angry, just quiet. Like a switch flipped. Fair enough, I said. She picked her phone back up. She left around midnight and was already texting someone before she reached her car. I watched from the window, then sat on my couch and thought about things. Her cousin had moved back to town about 2 months earlier. I'd crossed paths with her at maybe 3 family dinners. Sharp, quick to laugh, the kind of person who actually looks at you when you're talking. We'd bonded at a barbecue over a shared hatred of cilantro. Nothing romantic, just 2 people who got along. The day after the not married conversation, I followed her on Instagram. She followed back within an hour. I sent a message about a taco place she'd mentioned at the last family dinner. She responded in 8 minutes. We kept talking. Restaurants at first, then work, then life. She remembered details, asked follow-up questions. A week in, she suggested lunch. 2 hours later, we were still sitting there. She texted me good morning one Tuesday, and I caught myself smiling at my phone. It had been a long time since that happened. Meanwhile, the relationship I was technically still in had hollowed out. We'd see each other twice a week out of habit. She was on her phone, I'd stopped talking, and I stopped initiating plans just to see if she'd notice. She didn't. Her mom hosts a big Sunday dinner every couple of months. She mentioned it as an afterthought. Sunday at Mom's, starts at 3. I said sure. What she didn't know was that her cousin had mentioned it to me separately, and we'd both been looking forward to being there at the same time. I arrived at 3. She glanced up from her phone for half a second when I walked in, said hey, looked back down. I grabbed a drink and made small talk with her dad. Felt like furniture that had learned to carry on a conversation. The cousin arrived 20 minutes later. We caught eyes across the room and she gave me a small smile, one of those that carries 4 things at once. When she made her way over, she touched my arm and said, hey stranger. Dinner was loud and chaotic. I ended up near the cousin. She sat further down the table near her phone, doing what she always did. After dessert, the cousin and I took a slow lap around the block. Easy conversation, the kind that doesn't feel like it's working at anything. When we came back, she was standing in the driveway, arms crossed, phone nowhere in sight, somehow the most telling detail of the whole night. Where were you? Took a walk. Her eyes moved to the cousin, then back to me, jaw tight. With her? Yeah. Are you serious right now? You told me we're not married, I said, keeping my voice level. You told me I didn't get to ask questions, so help me understand what the problem is. She opened her mouth, closed it. She's my family, and you were texting other guys in my apartment while I sat there. What's the difference? Her mom was in the doorway. So was her sister. Neither said a word. They just listened. She tried to reframe it, make me the one who'd crossed a line. But the we're not married argument had sounded airtight when she used it. Hearing it turned around on her in her mother's driveway, in front of half her family, it landed differently. She called me 14 times that night. I read every single one. I didn't answer a single one.